Hello, today we are going to learn what is the bounce tool and how it works. It's a free tool for After Effects and it creates perfect bounce animation that works in harmony with animation principles. There are two ways to use it. The first option is you can download Mopex's demo version. You'll have it as a free tool. The other option is that you can download it as a standalone script file. You'll find both links in the description below. Let's start with creating a circle shape. Hold Shift to draw a circle. Before we go on, there are three things we need to keep in mind while using this tool. The anchor point is really important. Make sure the layer's anchor point is always centered. 2. Use position property only for vertical movements. Otherwise, it may go a bit wrong in here examples. Some options will help us to move our object freely. We'll learn about them in a minute. Alternatively, separating dimensions will allow us to control them separately. 3. Make sure the Y positions keyframe are linear. Otherwise, you may get incorrect calculations. Okay, let's open the bounce tool. Click the search bar on Mopec and type bounce. If you have the script version, you can go to the window and select bounce tool. There are some options here, but for now, just leave it as it is and click the apply button. Next, we're gonna move the circle until we cannot see it, and then click the stopwatch icon to create a keyframe. Let's move 5 frames forward, and next, we're gonna move it where we want it to stop. Let's see what we got. I think it jumps back too high. We can simply choose one of the gravity presets or adjust keyframe distance. These are the ways to control the force of the bounce. By the way, if you don't see this panel, go to Window, down to Effects and Controls. The great thing about this panel here is that we can adjust all of these in real time. Let's have a quick look at the options we've got. We can simply use this option to enable or disable the bounce effect. Max bounce determines how many times it's going to bounce back. Choose one of the gravity presets to adjust bounce intensity, or you can set it to custom if you need more control over it. We're gonna click on the arrow shape to reveal some more options and then enable the squash and stretch option. That looks pretty good. Let's pump up the squash value a bit more so we can see these animations better. We'll change the stretch value as well. From the stretch type drop-down, select Echo. This will give us a new style. We can select a type that best suits our animation. Let's try to change the squash type. It didn't work. Wait a second. Oh, I remember now. In the help section it says the second squash type doesn't work with shapes. That makes sense now. Let's create a new pre-comp and call it square. We'll set the width and height to 400. We're gonna double click this shape icon. Drag the new composition that we've just created to our scene. Let's separate dimensions of this shape too. Copy the position data from the shape layer to our composition. Run the tool again and hit the apply button. Let's copy our setup to use it for the new shape. Select the shaped object again and copy only the first effect and then paste it to our composition. If you're working with multiple objects, you can copy any setup in this way. Let's duplicate our layer and move it a bit, so we can see both of them in the same time. Okay, the first one has circle squash type and the second one has square. Can you see the difference? Let's change the squash value and see how it changes. This option works with compositions, images and texts, but not shape layers. I'm gonna hide one of them and turn off the squash and stretch option. Next, we have auto rotation. So what we are going to do is move our shape horizontally. If you have separated dimensions, just use X position. Otherwise, you can use transforms options in here. Let's set our first keyframe of the screen and then set another one here. Now we want this cube to slide after landing. We're gonna set the gravity to heavy because we need a fast animation. Find where the animation ends. Let's move the exposition keyframe a couple frames further. This time we'll change our object to a football. This doesn't work with football. We need it to keep rolling. Yes, this option exactly does this job. It keeps our object rotating. With these two options, we can change the rotation power or we can offset the value. Lastly, if we have already a bounce effect on a layer, applying the bounce effect again will only update these values. For example, let's say we have multiple layers with applied bounce effect and we want only to enable squash and stretch and auto-rotate features. First, we'll select our layers and then set the gravity to current. All the layers will keep their gravity settings. Tick these options and hit the apply button. Now our layers have auto-rotation and squash and stretch. I think we covered all the features. Please make some awesome bounce animations and tag me at MotionApe on Instagram with what you make so I can share it in my stories. Also, let me know down in the comments whether you like to learn how to make this kind of animations using the bounce tool. Thank you so much for watching.